Hi and welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally Graham and I'm at the 2019 New Worlds Metals Conference here in Perth, and I am with Bruce Maluish, who is Managing Director of VXR Silica. So with the BFS completed and got all those substantial resources in place, there's other things in train as well. You've got some approvals processes to finalise.
We're working on those. We've had preliminary meetings with the Department of the Environment in Canberra and also with the EPA here in WA. From those meetings, we've gone out and conducted a bit more field work. We've completed all the field studies and we're in the process of compiling those within our referrals. And we'll refer those to the Department of the Environment early next year.
Okay, all right. So there's also been a recent raising. You've raised a whack of money to keep on keeping on.
We raised another $4 million because of the sort of the current progress. Really, we're focused at the moment on getting the environmental approvals. So it's not a costly exercise at the moment, so we're not spending a lot of money, a lot of time and a fair amount of frustration. But it's not an expensive exercise. So we think we've now got enough funds to get us to the point of making a decision to mine.
Okay, and that decision to mine, once it happens, you're producing the product from each of the projects. Where will they go? I mean, obviously you've been talking to people. You've had quite a whack of interest, really, in offtake.
There's no domestic market to speak of, so it's all international markets, and really it's Asia. So we've spent the last 6 months talking to potential buyers in Japan, Korea, Philippines, Taiwan, Thailand, Malaysia, and of course China. The demand out of China is potentially huge, but we would like to be able to establish some sort of foothold in some of the more specialised industries that are in the other Asian countries.
Yeah, so I was just sort of thinking of that because, like, the product you produce, the silica sand, and for what it's used in, it's not as if it's just used in one thing, not just for the computer screen. The silica sand, it's used in, well, making cars, and so the glass in cars, the plastic in cars, glass in windows and specialised windows, TV screens.
You would be amazed in fact silica sand is used.
Yeah, it's everywhere, and it's omnipresent, let's say.
Yeah, it is. But it's not something you think about, and none of it, unfortunately, is produced in Australia. So there is no secondary industry in Australia, and all of the secondary industry is in Asia. Where the Arrowsmith North and Central projects produce a quality that is suitable for making flat glass, or actually in the industry it's called float glass, and container glass, beer bottles, wine bottles. Australia has 5 factories producing wine bottles, but we still import wine bottles. We import all of our beer bottles. So there's opportunity here that doesn't seem to be pushing ahead all that well. And also there's a fair number of those industries that are very dependent on a reliable supply. And this is our market advantage is there's no restrictions in Australia on exporting silica sands, whereas silica sand exports are banned in China, Korea, Philippines, Malaysia, Cambodia, Vietnam. Vietnam is still exporting some around the place, but generally it's very restricted. And the cost of a glass plant is enormous. Compared to our plant, $30 million for a sand processing plant, you're talking hundreds of millions for glass production. So you need a good, steady, reliable supply to spend that sort of money.
Yeah.
Now, our big advantage is it is reliable supply, it'll be reliable quality, and no restrictions on the export. So we've got a distinct market advantage there.
Right. Okay, well, so next year's, looking quite promising. Quite busy.
Yeah, a lot of what we've done this year will actually culminate in next year.
Yep.
So we're hoping to get into production by the end of next year,
Yep.
most likely from one of the Arrowsmith projects. Environmentally, it's more benign, and it's a bit further away from Perth, and it gets less scrutiny.
Yeah.
And it is a bit more isolated as well. So we expect to get one of those into production by the end of next year.
And when that is happening, of course, the money will start to flow, and there'll be no need for another raising or a rattling of the tin, will there?
No, I don't think so. And the $30 million for a processing plant is more in reach of a 50 million capitalised company as we are now.
Yeah.
We're not sort of a gold company looking for $300 million for a plant. So it's well within our reach. We've already had potential offtake partners offer to finance the project. We're not finished with those discussions yet, but I don't think that'll be a difficult exercise.
All right. Well, we'll wait. We'll look forward to hearing what happens next year. We're looking forward to seeing what's going on. Bruce Maluish, have a Merry Christmas, and it's been great catching up with you over the year. And we look forward to seeing you again next year in 2020.
Thanks, Wally.
Cheers.